Billionaire offers black waitress $2 million to cover his dark secret. Her bold decision leaves him stunned. Tasha had always believed that hard work and integrity were the cornerstones of success. As a waitress with a degree in computer science, she knew her worth. One evening, at a charity event, she crossed paths with Rachel, a billionaire CEO of a tech company. The two hit it off instantly, and soon, Rachel offered Tasha a position in her company. Tasha felt like she had made it. But just months later, her life took an unexpected turn. Rachel, once warm and friendly, now made a chilling offer. One day, in a private meeting, she slid a check for $2 million across the desk. "I need you to keep quiet about something," Rachel said. "Help me cover up a scandal, and this is yours." The offer wasn't just about money, it was about covering up a dark secret, an illegal discrimination case that threatened to destroy everything Rachel had built. Tasha was faced with a choice: accept the bribe and stay silent, or expose the truth and risk everything. What would you have done in her place? Let me know in the comments. Tasha sat in the dimly lit office, the cool, sleek surface of the desk separating her from Rachel, who looked almost too calm. The money, $2 million, a sum that could change her life, sat in front of her, glinting in the soft light. She looked at Rachel, unsure whether to feel gratitude or disgust. Rachel leaned back in her chair, her expression unreadable. "I know you're a smart woman, Tasha," she said, her voice smooth and convincing. "You've worked hard to get where you are. But this lawsuit, if it leaks, it'll ruin everything we've worked for. I just need you to help me put it behind us. No one will ever know, and we can move forward with our goals. Think about your future." Tasha's mind raced. She had been in this industry long enough to know the game, how power, money, and privilege often silenced the truth. Rachel, a billionaire with a reputation to uphold, clearly didn't want her empire to fall. But Tasha wasn't naive. She had seen the cracks in the system before, the corporate walls that protected the powerful while trampling the voiceless. She looked at the check again, the figures blurring for a moment. $2 million. The amount was staggering, enough to erase her debts and provide for her family. But what would she be giving up in exchange? Her dignity? Her voice? "I don't think I can do this," Tasha finally said, her voice steady but tinged with uncertainty. "You want me to lie, to cover up something that isn't right." Rachel's eyes narrowed slightly, but her smile remained. "Tasha, you don't understand. This isn't about right or wrong. It's about survival. Think about your future. You have the chance to secure everything for yourself and your loved ones. And you wouldn't be the only one who knows. We'd be in this together." Tasha's hands clenched into fists under the table. The words echoed in her head. We'd be in this together. She wasn't sure if Rachel was offering her a lifeline or pushing her deeper into a trap. As Tasha stood up to leave, Rachel's tone softened. "Think about it, Tasha. You don't have to decide right now. But remember, not everyone gets an opportunity like this. Some people never get out of their place." The weight of the decision pressed heavily on Tasha's chest as she walked out of the office, the doors closing softly behind her. As she stepped into the cool night air, her thoughts churned. What would she do? Would she betray her values for money? Or would she fight to expose the truth, no matter the cost? The answer seemed simple, but the stakes were higher than she could have ever imagined. What would you do in this situation? Would you take the money or expose the truth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The next few days were a whirlwind for Tasha. She couldn't stop thinking about Rachel's offer, $2 million to bury the truth. It was everything she had ever dreamed of: financial security, a chance to live a life free from worry. But the cost was clear in her mind. It wasn't just the money, it was her integrity, her voice. She felt trapped in a corner, pulled in two directions by the weight of the decision. Rachel's words played over and over in her mind. Not everyone gets an opportunity like this. Was it true? Was this her chance to break free from the hardships of her life? Or was it a way to silence her, to turn her into part of the very system that had always worked against people like her? At night, Tasha couldn't sleep, tossing and turning in bed, the offer haunting her thoughts. Her family depended on her, her younger sister had college tuition to pay for, and Tasha herself still carried student loans from years ago. The money would change everything for them, but at what cost? One evening, as she sat alone in her small apartment, there was a knock at the door. It was her best friend, Maya, who had been by her side through everything: college, struggles, and triumphs. Maya entered without waiting for an invitation, her concerned eyes immediately falling on Tasha's face. "I can tell something's off," Maya said, sitting down beside her. "What's going on?" Tasha hesitated, not knowing how to explain the turmoil within her. "I got an offer from Rachel, $2 million to cover up a lawsuit." Maya's eyes widened, clearly taken aback. $2 million. That's unbelievable. "But, Tasha, you know what this means, right? You can't just let that slide. It's not just about you, it's about what happens to people like us if we keep letting things like this go." Tasha felt a surge of emotion, a mix of anger and frustration. "I know, but if I say no, I lose everything. I won't be able to pay my bills, or help my family. And Rachel, she'll be fine. She's got everything. I'm just a waitress to her." Maya took a deep breath. "That's exactly why you need to make the right choice. You can't sell your soul, Tasha. You've worked hard for everything you have. Don't let that get erased because someone with more power thinks they can silence you." The weight of Maya's words hit Tasha hard. She knew what was at stake, but could she really fight against the system that had always stacked the deck in favor of the wealthy and powerful? That night, after Maya left, Tasha sat quietly by her window, staring out at the city lights. The decision was hers alone to make. But it wasn't just about money. It was about standing up for what was right, even when the odds seemed impossible. Tasha felt a newfound determination rising within her. She wasn't just a waitress, she was someone who mattered. And no matter what, she was going to make sure that Rachel's dark secret wouldn't remain hidden. What would you do in Tasha's place? Would you take the money or risk it all for what's right? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tasha's decision was made. She couldn't live with the shame of covering up the truth, no matter how tempting the offer was. The next morning, she contacted a local journalist, a well-known reporter who had a reputation for exposing corporate scandals. She set up a meeting in a quiet cafe, hoping to discuss what she had uncovered without drawing too much attention. The moment she sat across from the reporter, her nerves began to settle. This was it. She was going to expose Rachel's company for the world to see. The reporter listened intently as Tasha detailed the illegal activities, the discrimination lawsuit, and the offer Rachel had made. He nodded thoughtfully, but then, his expression shifted slightly. "This is huge, Tasha," he said quietly. "But if we run this, it's not just going to affect Rachel. It'll be a blow to the whole tech industry. Are you prepared for the fallout?" Tasha took a deep breath. "I don't know what's coming, but I can't keep quiet anymore. I've spent too many years watching people like Rachel get away with their actions. This isn't just about one company, it's about everything they represent." The reporter leaned forward, his eyes serious. "I understand. But be prepared for backlash. People will question your motives. They'll call you everything from greedy to troublemaker. It's going to get ugly before it gets better." Tasha nodded, feeling the weight of his words sink in. The road ahead was uncertain, and she wasn't naive enough to think it would be easy. But there was something in her chest that refused to back down. It was the sense of justice, of finally standing up for herself and others who had been silenced for too long. After the meeting, Tasha's life began to spiral. Her phone was flooded with calls, both supportive and threatening. Some friends and family congratulated her for doing the right thing, but others warned her to take the offer before it was too late. Rachel's team reached out, offering even more money to stop the story from going public, but Tasha remained firm. She wasn't for sale. Meanwhile, Rachel, unaware that the story was about to break, continued her life of luxury, focusing on her company's next big move. But the truth was catching up with her. Tasha's decision was the catalyst that would forever change the balance of power. Tasha woke up one morning to see her story published, front page news. It was a massive expose on Rachel's company and the corruption at its core. The world would now know the truth. And as she read the article, a mix of emotions flooded her: fear, but also a deep sense of pride. She had done it. Rachel would soon learn what it meant to underestimate someone like Tasha. The storm hit quickly. Rachel's world, which had once seemed so secure, began to crumble as the news spread like wildfire. Her company's stocks plummeted, and the media storm intensified. Tasha had become a symbol of resistance, a woman who had chosen integrity over wealth. The backlash was relentless. Rachel sat in her luxurious office, watching the coverage on TV, her hands trembling as she realized the magnitude of what had just happened. Her company was facing a public relations nightmare, but it wasn't just the business that was at risk. Her reputation, her entire career, was hanging by a thread. Rachel's team of lawyers scrambled to find a solution, trying to minimize the damage. The accusations of discrimination were severe, and the illegal cover-up was something that couldn't be ignored. They spoke of damage control, of making settlements, but Rachel was lost in her thoughts. Then, Tasha's face appeared on the screen again, speaking out in an interview about her reasons for going public. Her calm demeanor and unwavering stance stunned Rachel. It wasn't just about exposing the truth, it was about standing up to a system that had allowed people like Rachel to misuse their power. Tasha's courage wasn't just inspiring, it was a wake-up call. As the days went on, Rachel began to feel the weight of her decisions. For the first time, she truly considered the impact of her actions. She began to question everything she had built her life around. Tasha had done something Rachel never thought possible. She had taken the power back. And now, Rachel was forced to reckon with the choices she had made. Rachel sat in her office, reflecting on the turmoil that had unfolded. The media storm had passed, but the damage was far from over. Yet, amidst the chaos, she found clarity. Tasha's courage had forced her to confront her mistakes. The press conference was her chance for redemption. "I stand before you as a woman who has made mistakes," Rachel began. "The accusations of discrimination are true, and I take full responsibility." The room was silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. "I'm committed to change. We will build a company that values diversity and inclusion, and I'll work with people like Tasha to make it happen." Tasha, sitting at the back, stood and nodded. Their silent exchange spoke volumes. Tasha had become the catalyst for this transformation, and Rachel was finally embracing the change she needed to make. As the press conference ended, Rachel felt both vulnerable and relieved. She had taken the first step toward true change. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time, she felt like she was on the right path. If Rachel's journey touched you, leave a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. How can we create real change?